Yeah, that there are a lot of people who ascribe motivations and thoughts and attitudes to Satan that were not given in Scripture, and I don't think that we should build doctrine on speculation.
Sounds good to me.
That one of the things that we actually do have from Scripture is when the legion cries out to Jesus, tell me you haven't come here to torment me before the time.
Before the appointed time.
Before the appointed time.
It says the appointed time.
Yes. And so it's like, don't tell me I have my doctrine wrong.
Yeah. They knew when they were going to be punished. They were told by God. What I want us to look at, and this is another one of those questions I've been asking the Lord for a long time, and I think I'm pretty close now to what I think it is. So the angel said to me, "Why do you marvel? I will tell you the mystery of the woman."
Oh, women are mysterious.
"And the beast
Women
with 7 heads and 10 horns that carries her."
What scripture? Revelation 1?
Revelation 17:7. Now, so what that tells us of is that the nation that the Antichrist comes out of, that is the beast with 7 heads and 10 horns that carries her. Who does this beast, who does NATO carry? Who is this woman that this beast carries? Well, let's look at a little bit more clues. The beast that you saw was and is not and is about to rise from the bottomless pit. So that tells us that the beast consists of a demon. For only a demon was not at that time and will come back out of the bottomless pit.
Right.
Okay, so there's a demon that is going to rule the 7 heads and 10 horns. That's part of the beast. And go to destruction. Well, we know that at the end of 42 months, we have other scriptures that says Jesus destroys the beast and throws it in the bottomless pit. And then dwellers on the earth whose names have not been written in the book of life will marvel to see the beast because it was, is not, and is to come. This calls for a mind with wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman is seated. Now, people will say it's always Rome, right? That makes sense. That does make sense. But who does God say is my harlot? Who is this harlot? Who is this woman, this mystery woman who is a harlot? Now, we have to understand what God means. When God says that this woman is a harlot, what he's saying is she is not worshiping God. She is worshiping something else. That's a harlot. When God would call his people, he said, "You have harloted with the nations. You have gotten your strength and your power from them instead of me and when I was a husband to you." So, who is this woman? We have a couple options. One, we have to realize that this is a mystery. We also have to realize this harlot's been around probably before this was written. So, when people say, well, it's Rome, well, wait a minute. This isn't written as a prophecy. It says this is written in the present tense. I'm going to propose one of two options. The woman, the harlot, is Islam. But then, how does this Islam being carried on this beast? I have a problem with that. And the more I researched it, the more I looked, I can't see it. I can't see a beast. I can't see anything in the world of a beast where Islam rides. Though Islam is a harlot, been around forever.
Only 600 AD.
Yeah. That's Islam. But the religion of Islam has been around ever since God bless you. Ever since, we can go all the way back to Nimrod. So, that leaves only one choice that seems to me to fit. This harlot is Israel. This is political Israel. She rides the beast. The beast being United Nations. Beast being the one worlders. Beast being Charles and all his countries under him. She rides him. And the scriptures tells us, because she's a harlot. She doesn't worship God. God's called her a harlot before. In fact, I don't think he ever quits calling her a harlot. He never said she was back to mine. This is what we get a book about this subject matter. Does anybody know the name of that book? The Bible talks about a man marrying a harlot.
Hosea.
And then she leaves and comes back. What's the purpose of that book?
To show us Yeshua.
To show us the harlot. And God is faithful. So what I believe is the nation of Israel, the kings of Israel, remember, the nation of Israel is not a God-following nation. They follow the traditions of men that Jesus said and warned us about 2,000 years ago. But we know this, that the beast will turn on the woman and destroy her. Now, if it's Israel, that fits in two more other passages, two more prophecies. We are told in Revelation, we are told in Zechariah, we are told in Psalms, we are told in maybe Daniel, that Israel will be destroyed. 2/3 of her will be destroyed. And then at the very end, they will cry out, "Blessed is he who comes in the Lord," when Jesus comes back. So then there's another thing. So she fits. Then the other passage that we have to look at in whether she fits is, well, the book of Hosea, right? The book of Hosea. We see an example in Hosea. We see, if you read the Hosea, where Hosea is told by God to go marry a prostitute.
Gomer.
That was her name. She had a teeth. Gomer.
God says, go marry a prostitute, and he married Gomer. And then in that process, she leaves, he comes back, and there are some things that in the book, besides that little story that we all know so well, there are some things in the book about lying on your side.
That's in Ezekiel.
Is that Ezekiel?
Mm-hmm.
That's not he doesn't do any of that? Mm-hmm. No. Well, see, then go to Ezekiel. I guess I'll have to look that up because I'm really confused now.
Okay, so while you look that up, let me tell you that this is actually in the Marvel verse.
Yeah. Comics. Marvel Comics.
Which seems to be a bottomless pit.
Marble?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
And it just keeps going
And it just keeps going and
and going.
going and going, and it's demonic at its core.
Okay, so
I can keep going while you look that up.
You did really good. I'm not going to look it up.
He kept us alive.
Now he's going to then talk about these 10 horns and 10 kings, and here's what we need to know. They have not yet received royal power. They have not yet received royal power. They won't receive the royal power until the Antichrist does.
So, question for you. They have not yet received. Is that as of 90 AD or whatever it was when John wrote this?
Yes.
Or is that as of the time that these other things are being fulfilled?
Well, we'll look at the context. For they are to receive their authorities as kings for 1 hour together with the beast. So it's the end of the days. So at the end of the days, when this beast pops, and he's only got 42 months, we got to have 10 kings receiving their royal power. When we see that happen, these new 10 kings, which will probably be the world coming up from the ashes.
Hasn't the Club of Rome already? I think it was the Club of Rome that divided the earth into 10 regions that they were going to rule each region.
That's
so like South
yeah.
America, North America.
Yeah, that's the New World Order.
Australia, which is a tiny island off the coast of New Zealand.
So no matter what happens with Charles, that we have to see the beast rising with 10 new kings. Just like James said, they'll be divided over their areas.
NAFTA.
And they will make war on the Lamb, and the Lamb will conquer them. And it goes on and on. Now, what does that mean? How do we get from here to there? Now, we have to recognize that there is no more than 42 months from the Lord coming and destroying the Antichrist.
That's going to be more than 100 watts.
Yeah, it's more than 100 watts. No more than 42 months. So if our current time frame of 2030, the Lord's setting up his kingdom, that puts us in 29, 28, 2650, right? That'd put us in, it would be 2026 in either the spring feast or the fall feast.
Well, it's low if it's in the winter.
And low in the winter. So what that means is if we are correct, if Mark is correct, and did you see that little thing in there that I put up here? You guys got to pay attention to this because I know you guys don't do this, but I'm gonna put it up here so I can
We've
show
been known to pay attention sometimes. Many of us.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, did anybody else read your screw tape letter?
Yeah, we're not going to get to it. I'm sorry.
I read mine. I never did one ever, so that's like the first one I ever did, I think.
I can't find it now.
Gold star for Tim.
Thank you, I'll take it.
There. Right here.
I never did. Ever. They kicked me out.
Okay, you're gonna have to duck. Unless you want me on the video. Or back up.
Oh, I lost it. Oh, well, skip it. I'm not going to get to it.
Far Side cartoons.
Tia told me I had. Oh dear. In some countries, we're in trouble.
That's acceptable in a Muslim country. Yeah. Okay, so.
Just before they throw you off a building.
Dude.
With a rope around your neck, you're right.
Oh, yeah, so you don't have to worry about hitting the ground.
It's not that fall, it's a stop to get you.
I lost the picture, but I had it earlier. I had it up. I don't know if you saw it. It says, the problem with the churches today, everybody listens to their teacher instead of, right?
Yeah, we saw that.
It's on the
I
video.
saw that.
Okay, good. Fortunately, you guys aren't them. So you check everything I say.
Yeah,
you
we
pay the
don't
Lord's
listen to the
prayer.
teacher.
Tia.
So I have something to say on that because a lot of things I send to you and filter through you because I want to see if I'm going on the right track and you kind of like either back it or don't and just point something out. And so this morning, the Lord I heard him clearly say, you need to listen to me and not man and not go to them for answers. I have to learn to listen to him.
Very good, Tia. That's very, very good because there's a cycle that we go to when we're walking our path. And eventually we got to get to that spot where it's just us and the Lord.
Right.
But it's tough to hear him. It's tough to say those questions.
Yeah.
So that's what we all have to do.
Can be a